we have to study the mantra number 9. Neelagrivaya sahasrakshaya midushe atho ye asya sattvano hantebhyo karannama is the mantra. The meaning is Neelagrivaya namo astu. Our salutations to one whose neck is blue, a blue-necked one, to him our salutations. Sahasrakshaya namo astu. To one who has got 1,000 eyes, to him my salutations. Midushe. Midushe means one who is a giver of all the wealth. So any wealth you pray for will be granted to you. Atha, and yo asya sattvanaha. Those attendants, sattvanaha means sattva purushas, those who are noble. Only noble people will be in the presence of the divine, isn't it? So, because it's divine company is boring company. So one of the conditions is that all divine satsanga should be most boring. So please apply that rule hereafter. So the sattva purushas only will be the attendants of Rudra. So you have to, whenever you are in a noble assembly, it is not just that we pray to the deity. We have to pray to all the attendants also, because they deserve to be in the presence of the divine. So to sit in the presence of Mahadeva is not easy. It has to be achieved by a lot of penance. So all these attendants have achieved that status. That is why they are there. In fact, some of you who may be familiar with the Mahanyasa, anyway, we will get to that. We have not done it in our class. In Mahanyasa, even before you start worshipping Shiva, actually we start praying to all the other attendants. The attendants starting from Indra in the east, etc. We have talked several times about the deities of the directions. For example, Indraya, Vajrahastaya, then he is the one who is holding the Vajrahasta and who is the lord of all the divinities. And then Airavata Vahanaya, one who rides the white elephant Airavata. Uma Maheshwara Parshadaya Namaha. My salutations to one who is next to Uma Maheshwara. So even before you do the Mahanyasa Parayana, you actually worship and pray to all the attendants. See, this is how the scheme of the Lagunyasa expands into Mahanyasa. So I will point out some of these aspects, how these mantras give us an indication as to the way in which Mahanyasa has to be designed. So one simple mantra here, that is Atha ayam asya sattvanaha namaha. To these people who are, to these entities which are next to Mahadeva, my namaskara will expand in Mahanyasa to include a number of deities who are prayed for as an assembly. So if you close your eyes and imagine the assembly of Mahadeva, how all these entities are there, it is a very thrilling experience. In fact, these are some of the things are replicated in Chidambaram temple actually. You will also see in Chidambaram temple outside there is the iconography of all the postures of the dance. That also indicates that these are the Sattvanaha. So when you go to the Chidambaram temple, you see the art, but at the same time you imagine that these are all the attendants of Mahadeva. So Atha, and Ye Asya Sattvanaha, those who are of these eminence, full of Sattva-guna, Tebhyo Namaha Akaram. In fact, in classical Sanskrit, we also use the word Akaravam. That means we bow down. So here it is, Akaram means we bow down to them also. So, in essence, it is salutations to one who is blue-necked, of infinite vision, the giver of all the boons, and to those noble attendants, we do namaskar. So, on the face of it, there is nothing thrilling about it. But then if you go a little bit deeper, Sahasrakshaya. What do you mean by this Sahasraksha? One who has got 1,000 eyes. In Sanskrit, there is a rule. When the following words are used, Vishwam, Shatam, Sahasrancha, Sarvam, Akshaya Vachakam. That's the sutra. When you find a word which has got Vishwam, Shatam, Sahasramcha, Sarvam, Akshaya Vachakam. This is a symbol, an indication that it is infinite. Okay. So when we say Namas Sahasrakshaya, let's go to the story part. What is the story part? Shiva is the one who is sitting on top of the Himalaya mountain, right? If we had only the mortal eyes, 2 or 1,000, as long as they are mortal eyes, what is the limit of mortal eyes? Kala, Desha, Dik. So there are 3 coordinates in all vision. One is it is limited by time, by place, and also by the direction. So what is the range of our vision, our sight? Our vision and our sight is limited by where we are. Desha. What time are we talking about? Kala. Which direction we are facing? Dik. Isn't it? So, if that is applicable to Shiva also, Shiva who is sitting on top of the Himalaya mountain, and I am here 12,000 miles away, not facing him. This is not like the Islamic culture where you turn towards Mecca and worship, right? We turn at any direction. So when you say that, how can my namaskara be visible to Shiva? That question arises. And in this mantra, that question is answered because this vision of Shiva, which is Sahasraksha vision, is aparichinnam. That means it is unsegmented. Just as the rays of the sun pierces the nook and corner of space, any space that is open, he will illuminate. Similarly, when we worship, because he is Sahasraksha, it will reach that divine presence wherever you are, since his vision is aparichinnam and our vision is parichinnam. So Midushe means he gives all our prayers. Samasta Ishtartha Siddhi takes place by means of his eminence. Now, I know that every day I commit thousands of negative acts in mind, in body and in thought. Aparadha sahasrani, thousands of aparadhas. Kriyate aharnisham maya. I do that in the morning and day and night, day in and day out. I will be doing all kinds of negative things. So, I just say namaskara, and then I also pray to him tasmat, because I do all these things. Karunya bhavena, show me mercy, show me grace, karunya bhavena, then raksha raksha, protect me, protect me. So now the question is, I am aware of all the negative things I have, because he is Sahasraksha and nothing can escape him, even though there are barriers of Desha, Kala and isn't it? In spite of that, he is seeing, even before I realize what are my negative qualities, he already knows. Now the question is, when I just offer namaskara to him, in his balance sheet, he has got the whole record, isn't it? Therefore, how can my namaskara work? This is how we have to study the mantras. Otherwise, we become only religious. So, there has to be a leapfrog from being religious to spiritual. So, how can you jump that cliff? You have got to ask these questions. Okay, I know all that I do. And then he can see all that I have done. Just because by doing namaskara, how can he just forgive and then protect me? Isn't it? And I have done so many negative things that I cannot even approach him. Even if he welcomes me with open arms, I have so much hesitation in me that I cannot go near him. That's the relationship that I have understood with Shiva. So now, how can this mantra annul all those things? It is because he is Nilagrivaha. Because he is Nilagriva. So Nilagriva means one who is blue-throated. How does this happen? So there is a Shastra Vakya. What he does is Guna Doshau Buddha Grinhan. So it's a beautiful Subhashita also. It can be used as a Subhashita. Buddha means an intelligent person, a wise person, a person who is always thinking of the good of the society. What does he do? Guna Dosham. He knows, observes, and he is absolutely aware of what everybody does. Just because a person does not react, it doesn't mean that he has not noticed. Why? Because he is Buddha, he is intelligent. Since he is intelligent, he has observed all my characteristics. But what he does is, just as Indu means moon, Kshaula Iva. Kshaula means poison. What does Shiva do? All my gunas, compared to the crescent moon, he will take it and put it on his head. And then all my negativities, he will hide it in his throat. All my negatives, he will hide it. Look at the enormous amount of compassion. By just my doing namaskara and prostrating before him, he will take my good qualities, however little they are, place it on his head, and all my negative things he will just dissolve in the throat, just as he dissolved the poison at the time he drank. This Subhashita is Guna Doshau Budho Grinhan Induhu Kshvela Iva Ishvaraha Shirasa Shlaghate Purvam Param Kanthe Niyachati. This is the Mahima or the glory of who can be called as a Bhagavan, the very definition of Bhagavan. So by just doing namaskara, in the same way as he completely disabled the burning of the universe because of the poison, he will also burn away all my negative things. Now the question is, can I start all over again? Isn't it? Yeah, you do one namaskara, okay, he took all my good gunas and then doshas, okay, let's start again. The very fact that his throat is blue, his neck is blue all the time means he has not forgotten that either. So therefore, once you do Paschatapa and once you do Sharanagati, after Paschatapa, Prapatti and Sharanagati, we should never go back. Now what is a role model for me so that I will never commit all these things? The role model are Sattvanaha. All the Satpurushas who are there. Therefore, for my constant remembering of in what way I should establish the relationship, I will also not just praying to Shiva, but also I will be looking at all the Satpurushas who are in the assembly of Shiva. So this is also a glorification of Satsanga. So much is there. Otherwise, if you just, most of the books, what they do is they will give you word by word translation. That we have got to do dhyana and then take these meanings out. In the same tune, there is a very interesting Subhashita, just for fun, a little bit of entertainment. Let us look at Shiva's family. The most dysfunctional family, the most quarrelsome family. Every entity quarrels with the other entity, and this poor man is in the middle. What is his family? His family is he is Shiva, and then Shiva has got Parvati, and on his head he has got Ganga. Parvati and Ganga both are children of Himavan, and then both are married to the same husband. So most of us are married to one woman, and poor Shiva is married to two, and then I do not know how he manages, and they will be quarreling all the time, right? Then he has his son. One son is Ganapati. Ganapati's vehicle is the mouse. And Shiva is wearing the serpent, and the serpent's food is mouse. So the serpent is chasing to swallow the mouse. Then Kartikeya's mount is the peacock, and the peacock's food is the snake. Okay. Then Shiva is riding an elephant, Rishabha, and also an elephant. Gauri's mount is Simha. Simha all the time wanting to eat. Or there is also another interpretation, because Gajanana has got the elephant face, and Simha is enemy of Gajanana. He is wanting to eat Ganapati himself. So seeing that an insoluble family feud is going on, he took the hala hala and drank. Attum vanchati vahanam ganapate akhum kshudartho pani tancha kraunchapate shikhicha girija simhopi nagananam gauri janhu sutam asuyati kalanatham kapalanalo nirvinnaha sa papau kutumba kalahat Ishopi halahalam. So just so you don't mistake, it's my creation, it is.
I was saying that we all have to.
So the next mantra is a little simpler mantra, not so much deep into that. Pramunchadhan. Oh, sorry, I should take back that word. It is not as easy. Pramuncha dhanvanastvamubayorartniyorjyam yascha tehasta ishavah parata bhagavovapa tvam dhanvanaha ubhayoho. With the two ends of a bow is called artni. Artni means one end. Artniyoho is a dual number. So let out which one, the two ends, what are they tied to? They are tied to the string. The string is called jya. So untie the ends of your bow. So what is the mantra here? Tvam dhanvanaha ubhayoho asikniyoho pramuncha jyamcha. Then you also put down from your hand, te haste, from your hand, ishavaha, all the arrows, taha, all of them, paravapa. Paravapa means take it out of my sight. So you put away all your weapons. So, Hey Bhagavan, O Lord. So this is the word by word meaning of this mantra. One question could arise. We have seen that in Shastra, one should never repeat oneself. This I have so told many times. Punarukti dosha, that means repetition is wrong. So whenever you see in the Shastra a repetition of a word or an idea, we must ask this question: is there punarukti dosha? So here there is no punarukti dosha, because when we are intensely afraid, any emotion is very intense, what is the natural tendency? the natural tendency is to affirm and reaffirm again and again. Therefore, here we are looking at a devotee who is extremely scared. Why is he scared? Because he is aware of all his defects, isn't it? Until such time, I am not aware of all the negative things I am doing, then what happens? I will be arrogant, that I am perfect. Yada kinchid jnoham, when I know a little bit, then what happens? My arrogance will grow as though the rising fever. So then what happens? In my arrogance, I will reject even Ishvara. But once we realize that Ishvara is controlling both as Nimitta Karana and Upadana Karana, then what happens? In his presence, since he is Sahasraksha, I have done so many things, therefore there is fear, so there is no Punarukti dosha here. It is a natural psychology. Then, when will there be no fear normally? Until we study Shastra. Fear is removed as soon as the Drishta Bhaya is removed, isn't it? When the imminent danger is not there, then we become fearless. But what Shastra Adhyayana will do is, it will also make us aware of Adrishta Bhaya also. So look at the process in this mantra. First of all, you remove the Adrishta Bhaya. What is the Drishta Bhaya? You have got your bow, you got your arrows, you got the weapons all ready to shoot at me. Therefore, Paravapa, take it out of my sight. So Drishta Bhaya is gone. But still, Adrishta Bhaya is still remaining. So how to remove Adrishta Bhaya? The only way you can remove Adrishta Bhaya is by using the word He Bhagavan. So look at the care with which the sage is using the words. When he uses the word Namaskara, you saw what is the dynamic. When you use the word Bhagavan, what is the dynamic? Why do you use the word Bhagavan? Because Bhagavan has got 6 qualities. Aishwaryasya, Samagrasya, Viryasya, Yashasaha, Shriyaha, Jnana, Vairagyayoschaiva, Sharnam Bhaga Itirata. Because, He Mahadeva, you have got these 6 qualities and you are the infinite because of Sahasra, you are Sahasraksha. And then you are so compassionate that even though you know all my negativities, you eschew them. Whatever little good I have done, you put it on your head. And because there is nothing lacking in you. Key point. When do we get angry? When do we get jealous? When do we feel small? It is because when I think that there is something that is lacking in me, then only I will have all these issues. So non-comparison. And comparing, if at all you want to compare yourself with Mahadeva. Because then what happens? You are comparing yourself to the ultimate. So when you do that, all you can say is, He Bhagavan Te Namaha. We'll continue in the next week. We'll do the Shanti Mantra.